Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist. Today, we are going to see if we can do something that shouldn't be done. Okay, yay, we got a screen. All right. Oh, and in the chat already, we have Garth Beagle and One Bit Fever Dreams. How's it going, guys? Always good to see you too, and you are yucking it up, having a good time. Thank you both for being here. All right, so what we have here is a motherboard. It's sort of a unassuming motherboard, and yes, we're talking about PCs, so this is a motherboard, not a logic board, folks. So this motherboard is kind of interesting. I mean, when you're first looking at it, it's just got a bunch of ISA slots, which isn't particularly fun. It's got 30-pin memory slots, which is not particularly fun. It's got all the cache slots so that you can have 256K of cache. But if you look a little closer, here. Oh, and Eric's Edge is here. How's it going, Eric? There's also a 386 slot or a socket for a CPU. And so in this one, I guess I should pull that out and show you what's going on in there. And this is my technique for removing CPUs in these lift sockets. Just put a pair of tweezers in there and lift gently. So this board's kind of interesting, and so if we look at the markings on here, you can see it says 46/387, and so basically you can use this board, and all the jumpers tell you kind of the same thing, that you can use this board for 386s or 486s with or 386s with a 387 coprocessor, and so it's kind of a flexible board, which is kind of cool. But one of the bad things is that it doesn't have a VESA Local Bus slot, which on 486s is nice to have because it gets you a 32-bit bandwidth and bus mastering and stuff like that. So you get a lot more performance if you have this VESA Local Bus slot right in there. And so this board by default doesn't have that slot installed. And so what I want to do today is hopefully put a VESA Local Bus slot on there. I'm sort of curious as to why they didn't. I found a seller on eBay that actually has these things. I was doing a Google search and couldn't find the right model number, but I found this W22-10-1112 on a Polish website that was selling these, and then I searched for that model, that part number on eBay, and a guy had them. And so if anyone needs one of these, I have 10. Well, I have 9 more, hopefully, after today, if I don't screw up any of these. So if you want to do this mod, if this works, let me know. Yeah, so hopefully we can get some better video performance out of this thing. So if we take a look at this thing, I've heard that this is actually the same as a PCI slot. I haven't gone and checked that yet. Maybe we can do that at some point today. And so I don't know if you check out the thumbnail. Hold on a second. Let me show you the thumbnail real quick. You can see on the thumbnail that all these holes were filled with solder. This morning I went in and took all the solder out of those holes to hopefully make this stream go a little bit faster. We'll see how this goes. And so I'm just gonna go in. Yeah, that desoldering, that was that probably would have been my worst YouTube thing ever. It was very tedious, let me say. Okay, so that slid in there pretty nicely. Let's just try to look at this thing real quick and make sure all of our pins are poking through. So let's see if there's a way that I can show you that. It looks like we are. So we are all poking through. All right. It's all right, Garth. You're gonna see the soldering bit. You know, that's great enough, isn't it? One thing I'm gonna do. So from using VESA Local Bus ever since it came out, these cards never, like the socket never, or slot, never really lined up perfectly with the ISA on any motherboard I had over the years. And so before I start soldering this thing, I'm gonna put in the card and then start soldering so that hopefully things line up better than what most manufacturers would do. So cleaning out all those solder holes was annoying. It wasn't the worst job I've ever done. Hold on one second. Just let me make a little adjustment here. So, you know, y'all know I'm a huge fan of the solder pult, and it did a really good job for me today. Basically, it just required a lot of patience, and so I did actually. I started off trying to use solder braid and going, and I mean, I added a ton of flux and added my solder braid, and it was coming off, but it was kind of tedious, and I don't know, I don't like putting that much heat on the board like that and like dragging across. Like when you have these old traces, I find it's a little bit easier to lift a trace when you're dragging the solder braid across it. And I mean, there was so much solder in these holes that my little tiny solder braid, it just was like getting sucked up like crazy. So I found that the solder pulp did a much nicer job overall. Your PS2 value point doesn't have a VESA Local Bus slot. What are the chances I can add it? Does it have the holes for the slot? So I'm gonna put some on a few of these pins just to get this thing where I want it to be. And I'm gonna switch this to the microscope so it's a little bit easier to see. So there is a major drawback to this board that I haven't mentioned yet, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm gonna try to take this off now without ripping out all those solder pads. Okay. So we're physically in our holes. All right, let's switch over to the microscope so it's a little bit easier to see what's happening here. Hopefully, even though my microscope's not ideal. Gotta get those boards that have VESA Local Bus to work, Jeremy. Let's get those things cranking. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, now let's just solder our faces off. Okay, one down, 115 to go. So I would add flux on here, but I don't know. This solder I'm using has a decent amount of flux in it, so. Oh yeah, as long as you have PCI, that's fine. I have a couple of, well, I have one really interesting VESA Local Bus video card that I've been wanting to try out for a long time, so hopefully we'll get a chance to try that today. So I mentioned there were bad things about this board. So a lot of 486 boards, you could just select a jumper to change what bus speed you're at. And so you could change between, 25 and 33 and, even 40 and 50, depending on your CPU. This board, you can only change your bus speed by putting on a new crystal. And so right now, this is a DX266 chip that's in here, but it's running at 50 megahertz because we're at a 50 megahertz or 25 megahertz bus speed. Oof, 256K VGA card from 286 era, or no, from in your 386 until the summer of '96. Yeah, that would have been some reduced performance. Although, as we'll see today, that might not be your limiting performance necessarily. Well, we'll hold off on talking about that. My ISA card that I was testing this board with earlier, just to make sure that the board actually worked, is what is that card? It's a Diamond Speedstar 64, which has the Cirrus Logic 5434 chip on it. And the 5434, I believe, was actually originally a PCI based video controller. And so Diamond used a pretty high-end video chip on an ISA card. I wanted to compare it. I think I have a Speedstar 24 around here somewhere, but I couldn't find it in time. Whew. All right. So, that little section's done. Moving on. This is good stuff we're doing here today. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do, I wanted to try to stick in a... Oh, well, I guess I could just stick it in an ISA slot. I was going to see if the VLB video cards worked as 16-bit ISA cards, but I forgot to do that first. I have a feeling they wouldn't, but we could try it with just a regular ISA slot afterwards. So I was wondering why... So this motherboard is, let me show you this real quick. This motherboard is the ECS FX 3000 board, and you can find this on the retro web. There are a bunch of BIOS versions out there. I think mine has version 1.3 if I saw that properly. Just to plug the retro web, really great resource for old stuff. And you can see they have, gotta switch over to here. They have pictures. Here's showing one configuration where they didn't actually have the whole 486 socket installed there. That one's configured like mine. There's that. This one also didn't have the full 486 socket installed. And I have a feeling that's why they didn't install a VESA Local Bus slot, because some of these boards, were sold to be used as a 386, and so they weren't planning on ever being able to support VESA Local Bus. So what games do I want to try on this beast? Well, just for today, for the initial testing, I'm just going to do the Doom benchmarks. But ultimately, I really want to make a nice 486 Descent computer. I know that's kind of pushing the 486 processors. Normally, for Descent, you want to have a Pentium. But I want to see if I can get a 486 Descent system working. That was my favorite game growing up. And I'm sorry, my aim is a little off here today. I brought one of my soldering tips to work, and I'm using a soldering tip that I'm not comfortable with. Call this one the screwdriver tip. Solder, 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 solder. So I'm hoping they didn't do something to physically. I mean, if you look at these traces, you can see they're, the 46, the VESA Local Bus was supposed to be basically an extension of the regular 486 bus, and it's not supposed to require any other fancy logic or anything. So I mean, you can see all these traces are going right over to the CPU. Oh, neat. You get one bit, you got your PS4 gamepad working through the game port. That's awesome. Oh, it requires a Raspberry Pi. Oh, geez. That's fancy. All right, I'd say we're about halfway through this soldering job. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this tip, this screwdriver tip thing. It actually works all right if you're trying to clean up some little traces around a cap. It has a little bit better heat transfer to the solder wick than the regular conicals, but there's just something about this shape. It just doesn't fit right everywhere when you're trying to actually solder as opposed to desolder. And again, I really need to get a new soldering iron. Um, I actually just bought myself um, a ultrasonic cleaner. Um, that was a purchase I've been holding out on. So that was my purchase for the channel for the month. And that's been kind of nice. I cleaned up the Macintosh SE30 board that I had gotten. It looks a lot better. Don't miss any pins. Yeah. Oh, all right, we're getting close. I think we're like 3/4 of the way done here. Nice, you met Lewis Rossman. Um, that's interesting. I thought you were in like Kentucky or something. I thought he just moved to Texas. Was it? Yeah, I've been cleaning enough boards lately and going through isopropanol like crazy. So I was like, well, eventually it's gonna kind of. I mean, I still rinse the boards with isopropanol when I'm done with this ultrasonic cleaner. Um, but I go through a lot of hardware here, a lot of stuff I don't even show on the channel, and it is nice to be able to clean some stuff up when you get it. And like I've mentioned before, when you buy stuff from a smoker that's just like totally nasty, it'd be nice to clean up stuff like that. Jeremy, did you go to his shop or did you just happen to run into him? Uh oh, what'd you do to get into his live stream? Alright, I'm sensing the end here. We're getting close. We're getting so close. Five to go. Alright, I think we are soldered. Let's add a little bit more to that one. Whew. Let's click here. Alright, there is our mess. Alright, so let's clean that up. Yeah, I'll definitely check out the archive of that stream if you know what the timestamp is when you're in it. All right. Let's take a look at our mess. I think they all look pretty good. Alright, so let's stick our processor back in here. Just note, one thing threw me off about this board, and actually, I'm embarrassed to admit, after years of working on computers, that I did this wrong. The silk screen here for the 387 says to put the pin 1 there. The silk screen down here says that the cutoff is there, and really that is the proper orientation. So the little cut corner on the processor. So yeah, I put in the processor the wrong orientation the first time I tried to use this board, and it resulted in a no post, or a no boot at all. The power supply kicked off. Okay. Let's see. How should we do this? Oh, I gotta clean. Alright, yeah, this will work. So what do you think? Should we test it first with a regular ISA card? Let's shut off the soldering iron. Hopefully we're done with that. And let's zoom out. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's boot with nothing first, just to make sure there's no short. You're so smart, Garth. Keep me on my from screwing things up too bad. All right. So AT motherboards, always make sure to have your black wires towards the middle. Let's see. Let's put in our postcode analyzer. That also has a speaker on it. Yep. Alright, it's doing stuff. It's doing stuff. Let's do some stuff. Alright, let's add a controller card. And floppy. Not that we're actually going to use a floppy today, but just in case. This little thing, bird connector for the compact flash card adapter. There's probably some people on here that'll yell at me for having all this stuff so willy-nilly, but it's alright. It's okay. This is all okay. Everything will be fine. Alright, let's use a regular ISA card here. move some stuff around a little bit. Oh, I also want to show, this was the original CPU that was in this thing. 486SX25. Crap, we don't want any of these, they're garbage. And I'm also going to apologize again for not having a proper VGA capture set up right now. Second reality demo. I don't know that one bit. I'm going to make you a... Oh, you already are, Mod. Alright, if you have a link to that, let me know. Alright, let's see. Oh, I need a keyboard. What a mess. For all you aspiring YouTubers out there, make sure to be organized when you set up your streams so that you don't look like me. Alright, so let's just prove that this works. So cd DOS bench. And let's do our faster Doom one. My monitor's hosed. It's okay. It's garbage anyway. Hey, Trina's here. How's it going, Trina? Alright, so we're still not on VESA Local Bus yet. This is the regular ISA card. So basically what I'm proving right now is that I haven't destroyed the motherboard. So that's... that's a good thing. I break things sometimes, right? So, yeah. Alright, so let me add that to my benchmark real quick. Let's see where we're at. 1 second real quick here. What is our Realtix? 1312. 1312. Alright. So let's get out of this. So, also want to point out that this is the DOS bench set from Phil's Computer Lab. He made this thing, which is really awesome. Makes it really easy to test out DOS stuff. Alright, so here's the big thing. Let's see if we can get... So this was the Diamond Speedstar 64, which is a really awesome ISA card. Here we go with our VESA Local Bus card. Show that on the stream. Oh, that fits nicer than any VESA Local Bus card I've ever inserted before. Okay, this. Okay, here we go. This is the big one in 3. Oh, yeah, hold on. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh no. We got smoke. We got smoke. Poof. We got smoke. Oh, balls. Oh yeah, we got magic smoke. Alright, so let's see what happened here. Let's do a post-mortem on this thing. It's okay. me see what I've missed here. All right. Don't. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is kind of weird. Microscope. Look at that. There's like solder on that resistor. So real quick, I'm just gonna turn this back on and make sure I didn't fry the board. Nope, the board's not fried. Has this VESA Local Bus card been used before? I think it has. This isn't one of my gooder ones. Let's go back to here. Look at the board. So there was smoke, but I don't know where the smoke came from. Alright, maybe we should try another motherboard with this card just to make sure it's not the card. Pull out my postcode thingy. I just so happen to have another VESA Local Bus motherboard ready to go in the event that something terrible happened. Oh, I also see something else here. Let's go back to the microscope. Looky there. So that's where that solder came from. We got a little broken trace of something fried right here. So that would indicate to me that something might be wrong with that slot or that particular position on the board. Alright, so let's just try this real quick. I don't think this is gonna work now that it has fried itself. Yeah, maybe there's a couple of shorted pins at that particular position or something. Let's just try this the way it is right now, and maybe we'll add a little bridge. Maybe put a fuse there. That would be a little high tech. Add a fuse to that little spot that just fried. It's my VESA Local Bus tester. Let's add this. I think that's our speaker. Yeah, that's our speaker. So it's not inhibiting. Oh, that's really interesting. So the card still works. So even though that oh, maybe it doesn't totally work, but it's outputting. This stripe is my monitor. Don't worry about that. Does the card have tantalum caps? Yes, it does. I could check and see if any of these caps are shorted and that caused it. But it's interesting that we got video out even though that spot is fried on that card. Let's go back to our other board. Other motherboard. This is interesting. Where the trace was toasted, is that on the VLB part of the edge connector? Yes. Are there shorted pins on that? Yeah, let's check that. So if we go here, so let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at a little bit clearer. So that burnt trace is right about here. Just want to double check to make sure I have the right one. Of course, that hole is way too small to get my... Oh, there we go. Yep, so I have the right one marked there. Okay. Should we check these caps? I think these are... I don't know if these are tantalum or not. It's always hard for me. These could be ceramic. I have giant hands. No. 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 Did I do that one? No. 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 All right. So this doesn't seem like it's due to the fact that these are shorted out. So whatever that was, not that. So let's check. Let's see if I can get this somewhat visible. Okay. Let's check and see if I have something shorted here. So this slot is the one that pin was at. Nope. 2 pins away was shorted. Oh, maybe due to the way that that's oriented. I'm not going to tell you what microscope I'm using, Trina, because I don't want anyone buying from Amscope. They are awful. I had a terrible experience with Amscope. I guess I should look up a pin header here for VLB. So basically what happened was I bought, it's like a $900 microscope after shipping and stuff and tax. And So I get this thing, and it was supposed to come with the camera and everything, and the camera refused to work with my system, and so basically their camera software is terrible, or their drivers are straight up terrible. Um, it's just bad. Um, I don't know what to say. Like I had to do a lot of work to get the camera to work. Like none of their drivers are digitally signed. So basically all of the you have to unlock your driver settings to allow non whatever drivers to work, and then even after that, it refused to work with the USB slots on or the USB ports on my motherboard. Eventually, I figured out how to get around it by just adding another USB controller, and it worked fine with that. But the support people were absolutely terrible. So I do not recommend Amscope at all. Okay, so let's see. Can I share this? Let's see if I can share this. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything in the chat. Okay, thanks for the pinout diagram. Yeah, they accused me of having an edge case use of my product because I was using Windows 10. Like, Windows 10 being an edge case. Like, how screwed up is that? Okay, so let's see. Alright, so here's this thing. And let's see if I can figure out what pin was shorted. Alright, here's some other good compelling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so 27 should be 5 volt, which is good. That's fine, right? If we go from here, where's our 5 volt? Should be right there. One second. Yeah, so let's see. So really, only 12 and 27 and 40 should be connected to 5 volt. So let's go back to our scene here. Okay, so I have my probe in the 5 volt over at the power supply, and there 27 is connected, so that works fine. But let's see. No. All right, that's 5, right? That one's supposed to be connected. Sorry, I'm going between too many windows here. Yeah, no. Pin 5 should not be connected to 5 volt. So what the heck is going on here? 1. That should not be connected to 5 volt. That should not be. That one is not. Yeah, look at all that. All right, so let's look at the back of the board and see if there's something I screwed up, or maybe on the edge here. So that there were way more than 1, 2, 3 connections to 5 volts over there. So what could this be? So should we take a look inside here? Did I add too much solder and get some blobs inside there? I don't think so. Let's look and see if there are any obvious bridges on the back. That's as clean as you could want. That is really interesting. Let's look down inside there, make sure that I'm not missing anything. Look, that all looks nice and clean. Yeah, maybe they booby trapped this thing. Like, no, you're not allowed to add that slot onto this thing. It's only for us to have. Huh. Alright, let's try a regular card again. Let's be crazy. Let's get crazy here. Sorry, let me zoom out a little. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, ECS was not the most reputable brand out there. Yeah, it could have been something as simple as that. Like, they just really didn't care. I think what I want to do is try with this powered up, check to see if there is 5 volts coming through places where there shouldn't be. Let's start off with just our postcode card here, and leave the speaker. Okay, so the system posted. And let's look here. All right, how can I do this? How can I be a web host here? There we go. Okay. And of course now, nothing is registering. Oh, sure, Jeremy, now you tell me to be careful. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. I was looking for a connection. Okay. Let's go back to here. This is interesting. I'm getting no voltage anywhere from these. Alright, so again, let's see, what things are we looking for? We're looking for number 12, number 27, and number 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nothing. 1. Oh, shoot, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, no 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Huh. So, we are getting no 5 volts at all here. Let's check the other side. So we should have on B9, should have 5 volts. So turn the board, make it a little easier for me to see here. Let's make sure the board hasn't shut it. What the heck's going on here? What is going on? I got nothing. Oh, the board shut itself off. Okay, that would be a good reason why we don't have power. What is going on here today? Did my power supply just finally die too? Oh, does it? No. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of some extra stuff that we don't need here. Clean off the big bad bench. Okay. Reseated. Are we shorting anything out on the back? No. Okay. We have power now. Let's just double check to make sure we get our 5 and 12 volts. Okay. We got our 5 and our 12. Wait. Did that say 5? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, if anyone sees these lights go out, make sure to let me know. Yeah, send your bad boards my way, Jeremy. I'm always up for trying to get a 486 to work. Although, shit, after this stream, I don't know if anyone should ever send me anything computer related ever again. Okay. Whoa. Okay, we got that. We're still on. I forgot my numbers again. 12, 27, and 40. 12, 27, and 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 4.23, which is not great. Well, that's 27. And then So I'm wondering if it has, could it have something to do with trying to draw too much power and it's not delivering enough power? Since we're only getting 4.4 volts here. This is curious. Curiouser and curiouser. What's on the backside? On the backside again. B9. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe it just needs an external power connector. Huh. This is wild. Alright, well, I think what I'm gonna do is just want to double check to make sure this thing still posts properly with a video card in there, even if it's not VESA Local Bus. Yep. So the board still posts fine. Well, I think we've been going at this for about an hour. And I think that's going to have to be enough for today, because I don't know if anyone happened to see the shorts I posted earlier this week. I'm in the middle of some house deconstruction projects. So I need to get back to those. I was hoping to use this as a nice little break from my physical stress. Just screw up some computer hardware. So it's good we haven't destroyed the motherboard at least. But this is gonna require some more tinkering and figuring out what's going on here. Yeah, I'm gonna end this stream. You can hit me up if you want to talk. Big Bad Biologist at bitbang.social on Mastodon. I want to thank Garth Beagle, One Dit Fever Dreams, Trina's Techno Babble, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, Eric's Edge, and who did I forget? I think that was everybody. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If I missed you, I apologize. And I'll see you all around the interwebs somewhere else. Bye.